Ah, hey everyone, this is Disney 65 on here, and I am going to do a quick review of a film that I saw last night. It's called Big. The movie is directed by Peggy Marshall, who is the sister of Gary Marshall, who directed The Princess Diaries 1 and 2. He's in the cameo in Hocus Pocus along with her, who's also in the film as a cameo as his wife in Hocus Pocus. And what other films did he direct? Pretty Woman. Gary Marshall directed Valentine's Day. So Big tells a story about this 13-year-old boy called Josh Barkan, played by, I forget the young guy's name that plays young Josh, but anyway, he wishes to be big because he wants to go on the latest carnival ride, and of course he can't go on it because it's too small, and he's kind of upset about this, so he stumbles across this mysterious fortune teller machine called the Zoltar. Very creepy machine, by the way, let me tell you that. And Josh, of course, decides that he makes a wish in it, so he makes a wish, and he says, "I wish I was big." It could have went horribly wrong, by the way. He could have went like a fucking 70-foot monster or something like that. So the next morning he wakes up as a 30-year-old man, now played by Tom Hanks, a very young Tom Hanks. I believe he's like 30-something at the time. And of course he no one believes him except his friend, played by, I think it's not John Hurd. Is it something? I forget. God, I'm so bad at actors' names, and I'm so used to their names. If I don't know the names of the actors, I will post down in the comments who played who in the film. Anyway, of course, Josh's friend, is the only one that actually knows that he is telling the truth. Of course, problems arise, however, when Josh, of course, ends up getting a job in some toy business company. He ends up falling in love with this woman called Susan, played by Elizabeth Perkins. And it's kind of, you can pretty much guess what's going to happen after that. What I like this movie, overall, I really, really love this movie. There's so much heart in it. There's so much warmth. It kind of, you can't help, I don't know why, but every time I watch the ending of Big, I'm not going to spoil the ending. It's very bittersweet, so I'm going to say. But every time I watch the ending of that film, I cry. I don't know why. I just cry at the ending of Big. I don't know why, like I said. I think it's because that I wanted something to happen. Like, I wanted, like, Josh to, okay, I can't say it because a lot of people didn't see the film. If you want me to spoil the film, I will say spoiler alert and just end it here, the review, and then say spoilers after that. Actually. So, yeah, before I go into spoilers for Big, I'll give this movie, you know what? I give this movie an 8 out of 10. I love it. I've always loved the film. I've always been a fan of Tom Hanks. So, I'm going to leave it at that. Spoiler mode. Okay, so for those who saw my non-spoiler review of Big, then that's great. If you're here for the spoilers, then okay, here we go. Right, the reason why the ending of Big makes me cry is because Josh goes back as a 13-year-old kid again, and he asks Susan that she can be with him if she wants. Of course, she says she doesn't want to go back as being a 13-year-old because she didn't like that age at the time. And of course, they part ways then, and Susan slowly sees Josh becoming Tom Hanks to being back as the 13-year-old boy again. Which was actually very cool, the way they actually show Tom Hanks. He done this. Very sad, by the way. He walks off. I mean, as Susan, Elizabeth Perkins' character, turns on the car, she looks and she's like, and we see him like the clothes that he's on him gets too big for him. He turns around anyway and does this and goes as if to say, "Yeah, this is me as a 13-year-old boy. You nearly got laid by me," and it's just like as if to say, "Wow, you're so cute as a 13-year-old boy." But anyway, if you find the Zoltar machine again in her, like I can tell by her facial expression, if you find the Zoltar machine again, maybe you'll be 13. Go, "You know what? Screw being a 13-year-old boy. I'm just being Tom Hanks. I'm in that'll be it." But no, it didn't happen. There's a lot of rumours spreading around by the ending, because a lot of people say that in certain countries Susan actually does become a 13-year-old girl in the end to be with Josh, but that rumour was wrong, because there was a movie similar to Big back in 1988. It was called 14 Gun on 30, not to be confused by the Jennifer Garner version, which I also reviewed, by the way, about 2 days ago. Check that out. In the end of 14 Gun on 30, the girl, Miss Noble, who was like the young guy, Danny's, Danny O'Neill, who's the name of the character in that film, by the way, she goes back as a 14-year-old girl to be with Danny. And a lot of people say, oh, wasn't there an ending of Big where Susan goes to the Zoltar machine, wishes to be 13, and goes off with Josh in the end, so they can become childhood sweethearts. That's pretty much it. That was actually, like I said, it was actually 14 Going on 30 that had that ending with the girl going back as a teenager just to be with the guy in the end because she fell in love with him. I know Susan fell in love with Josh, but at least she didn't say, "You know what, I want to be with you, I want to go and use that Zoltar machine." She goes to the Zoltar machine that day and say, "I wish I was 13 to be with Josh." Then she wake up the next morning as a 13-year-old, she goes, "Oh, hi, I'm a 13-year-old girl now, so I can be with you now." But no, I like the bittersweet ending in the end, because it kind of shows what it's like to be grown up, what it's like to miss out on your childhood. I think that's the whole message of Big. It's all about, like, the moral to the film is don't wish to be old or like to become an adult straight away, because being an adult actually sucks. Believe me, being an adult does suck. I'm 27 years old now, and being an adult, in my honest opinion, it's nowhere as fun as being a kid. Being an adult, you have to buy more, you have to buy a mortgage, you have to buy this, you have to buy that, you have to, refurbish the house, you have to get a job, you have to get married, have children, and oh god. It's a nightmare being an adult, by the way, in my honest opinion. But I'm kind of lucky because I'm a big child at heart in a way. I've always been a big child at heart. I'm a girl who collects dolls, for crying out loud, and sleeps with stuffed animals. I've got no boyfriend at all, so my social life sucks, by the way. Not that it doesn't interest you anyway, but yeah. Like I said, overall, I give Big an 8 out of 10. Out of 5, I give it 4 out of 5. It's always been a favourite of mine, and I always, like I said in my non-spoiler review, I've always been a fan of Tom Hanks. I always loved Tom Hanks. I've always been a fan of Robin Williams. I was always a fan of Jim Carrey. I liked Jim Carrey though in the 90s. Nowadays, he's just, he's not the same Jim Carrey that I grew up with. But still though, I loved Jim Carrey in the 90s, and Robin Williams, I always loved him. Garcia Soul. Yeah, but overall, like I said, if you haven't seen Big, do check it out. It's by the way, before I finish off this review, there's actually 2 versions of this movie to track down. The first version is on for 99 minutes, which is the one I have, and it's kind of, I don't know, the pacing's kind of, I don't know what it is, but it's kind of different than the second version, because the second version is, again, spoilers, Susan, of course, she demonstrates a doll who's very, very creepy, and she kind of tricks Josh into getting her, chewing gum, and he kind of gets the chewing gum, and there's another one, too, where she actually found the card where it said, "Your wish is granted," and she's like, it was like, because like he had his trousers off, and she actually found the Zoltar card because she didn't believe in him at all. And then there's another scene where where she gets this kind of, or she brings this where Susan brings this hamper to work, and she's all smiles and she's really happy because she's in love with Josh. And she leaves the hamper to the secretary, and the secretary's like, "Oh, wow." And also, Josh's friend like comes in and says, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" And I just like, it's the scene like where Josh's friend Billy, that's his name, Billy. He leaves the address to Josh to tell him where the Zoltar machine was, because it was in the carnival fair when he was going out with Susan at their date, but he didn't see it. Thank God he didn't, because the movie would have ended very quick, and it would have been, yeah. But overall, like I said, if you haven't seen Big, then do check it out. I probably get the director's cut eventually. It's very hard to find, because I actually saw the director's cut on YouTube. It was very crap quality, by the way. But it made more sense than the original, than the 99-minute one. But still, though, I liked the 99-minute one as well. So, yeah. That's it for me and my review of Big. Let me know in the comments down below, have you seen it, what you think of it, and until next time, take care.